Good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you for this State Level workshop on the topic Artificial Intelligence, Machine Learning in Business and Economics of Saraswat Education Society's Sridhara Kapula College of Commerce and Management Studies. May I request Principal Professor Santosh Patkar sir to escort the dignitaries on the dais. I also request Vice Principal Ma'am and HOD of our Economics Department to take their seat. The topic of our workshop is Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning in Business and Economics. This topic is of immense importance, especially in data analysis, predictive modeling, automation, helping researchers get real-time insight to track economic shifts and business operations. Now, I would like to invite our respected principal sir to deliver welcome address and officially begin this workshop.
Chief guest and guest speaker of today's workshop, Dr. Arif Khanapuri, Vice Principal Ms. Smriti Borkar, Professor Sharmila Borkar, the HOD of the Economics Department, faculty members, delegates from the other colleges, and dear friends. I am extremely happy to welcome you all for this one-day workshop on the AI, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning in Business and Economics. And we have a resource person, Dr. Arif Khanapuri. I was just talking to him. In fact, artificial intelligence is stopping normally the computer science or the person experts in computer science field. Arif is for like us MCOM, and but he is expert in the research methodology. We have invited him earlier for as a research person for the research workshop, and I am very happy that Dr. Arif is visiting for our college. Some years back, when I remember when computers were introduced 1987-85, when Rajiv Gandhi, at that time it was said that due to the introduction of the computer in India, the unemployment will increase. And later on we'll see that for each and everything the computers were used, employment has increased, not decreased. Today also same thing, artificial intelligence, where people are saying that because of the artificial intelligence the employment will reduce. I don't think that is the case where the employment will. Some other areas will occur, will arise where you need artificial intelligence, and what the employment fear is that I don't think that will overcome, and more employment will be done, because today India needs more employment. Today also in the newspaper, I read it in the Navin Times, the unemployment rate of the Goa is higher than the national. So that everywhere there is, yes, that is the fear is there. But earlier, even when we used to say that even machines are there, computers are there, but the human resources plays a very important role. We need a good person to manage the machine. But today, today is the case where instead of human resource or human intelligence, the artificial intelligence is created, and where they play with whatever the work has to be done by the human resource or the human or the machine operator, that is done by artificially by the machine itself. A simple example which I am using that we had earlier one workshop on artificial intelligence on AI for the teachers. in education, and then the chat GPT, when most of us, all are there, just now the Harip was saying that regarding all are the users of this AI. It is not a new concept we will be introducing to you. The only thing to expertise, we may add something to in this workshop. But then the simple that is regarding the chat GPT, regarding the communication, letter writing, etc. Within when you type it, and just within a fraction of the second, the letters are ready. So that what the machines, intelligent part of what is required by the, earlier it was domain of the human being, because now it is being replaced by the machine. I was reading that in the Naveen Times regarding that in US now even in the legal firms, the legal lawyers, there's a less work for them because everything you can get it from the to the artificial intelligence AI. Even in the medical profession, even a business, when the topic is the theme is related to the business and economy, I'm just going to that. Even yesterday I was reading that the stock prices in the company which are AI has been increasing. There is a more prospect for the share prices or the shares in the demand for the business, because in business the AI is used in it. Maybe in entertainment industry, it may be retail industry, it may be any industry where now the AI is used, and in future it will be used everywhere in every sector. So it is time to learn and to expertise on this AI. The one fear is that yes, the intelligence, the thinking and the creativity and thinking which humans were required, human being which we are required think for, that will reduce, because everything is ready with the machines, with the solutions, decision making solutions are ready with the help of the AI. Then the thinking power or the creativity will to a certain extent reduced. I remember that last month when a visitor had come to me regarding, he was saying that most probably all these chat GPT AI tools will be the ban in education institutions, because in the school, etc., students, everything, assignment, everything is ready with the help of the AI. Then you start using it, so that the intelligence, creative thinking, intelligence will have definitely will have impact, because we want everything ready-made, easy, within the with no time. We don't want to think more and get a solution for that. So the machine is better in that. So let's we'll learn something more about from the Dr. Harip, that is very expert in the computers research and in the commerce, and I'm very happy to invite him and just I was talking to you, you have been compared to Poly again and again in this institution. So thank you very much, and I'm sure that this workshop will benefit you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and warm welcome. At this point, I would like to invite Vice Principal Smriti Ma'am to introduce resource person for today's workshop.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to you all. We have assembled here this pleasant morning for a day-long state-level workshop on artificial intelligence and machine learning in business and economics, being organized by the Department of Economics of our college, Saraswat Education Society, Sridhar Kapura College of Commerce and Management Studies. Friends, artificial intelligence and machine learning are digital tools used in nation's business and economic sector to analyze data, improve efficiency, and make better decisions. AI/ML can help to process large amounts of and all kinds of data quickly, which in turn will lead to better informed and planned decisions. AI-powered technologies can help businesses to optimize processes and gain valuable insights from data. AI can also help banks to monitor the economy and financial systems in real time. Furthermore, machine learning can be utilized to forecast financial markets, assess trading profitability, evaluate market trends, and even manage cryptocurrency exchanges. It can also be supporting online trading competitions by enabling real-time decision-making akin to the dynamic fuel price adjustments employed by gas stations. In a sense, this represents a new frontier in our learning and application of technology, offering innovative solutions across various sectors. We have with us today Dr. Harip Khanapuri, Associate Professor and Program Director of MBA Financial Services at Goa Business School, Goa University, as a chief guest and resource person for today. I have great pleasure in welcoming Dr. Harip and further introducing him to you. Dr. Harip is also the director at the Directorate of Foreign Students and Directorate of International Collaboration and Exchange at Goa University. He has over 20 years of teaching experience at UG and PG levels in addition to Goa University from DCT's SS Dempo College of Commerce and Economics, Panchi, Goa. His expertise is in the area of finance and data analytics and has conducted several workshops as resource person in the areas of applied statistics, time series and panel data econometrics. He is a recognized guide for PhD program in commerce at Goa University and currently guiding 6 PhD candidates in the area of corporate finance, capital markets and behavioral finance. He has presented and published several research papers in national and international journals conferences in the area of financial markets, capital market integration and portfolio diversification. Authored 5 books in the area of accounting, finance and management. He has served as member of various academic and administrative bodies at the university and affiliated colleges. A quick perusal of Dr. Harip's academics and professional credentials tells me that he has vast experience in the subject area of today's workshop. We are deeply obliged to you, sir, for agreeing to be with us today, and once again, very warmly I welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful introduction. Now, I would like to request HOD of our economics department, Ms. Sharmila ma'am, to give present as a token of appreciation, a memento to our guest, Dr. Harip Khanapuri, as a symbol of gratitude and respect. I request my friend Rani to give floral welcome to other dignitaries. Thank you, Rani is here. May I now request Sharmila ma'am to address the gathering.
Thank you so much. Sir said that the competence was scared of me that she forgot my surname. But I guess it's good because people often confuse between the two workers. So I guess it's good that she addressed me by my first name, which I always like. I begin by saying thank you to all of you because the day has started quite early, but now for the workshop participants it has started just now. So let us begin. We don't have a formal kind of function because our chief guest himself said that he wouldn't like all these formalities, but I take this opportunity to first pay gratitude to all on the days and off the days. Most importantly to all of you, where I see quite a lot of audience. I did not expect this response. To a large extent our own teachers and all of you who came from other colleges, the students most importantly, and the teachers accompanied them. We were worried that why did we at all think of a workshop when there is orange, red and yellow alert. I do not know what each type of alert represents, but I knew it would be raining very happily and then we would get half the participation that we anticipated. But no, it worked well for us. I'm so happy and joyed to see you all. Today, the workshop topic is a bit scary, not just to some of you who may be not knowing what is AI and ML. And it is for those, I would like to tell you, please relax, because I do not know the meanings of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I don't and that is the reason precisely why I have come to know and discuss or probably learn a little bit about it. So all of you, please remember that we begin with a clean slate, because we have an excellent resource person with us. And when I say resource person, he is both a resource as well as a person. First of all, he is a resource, wonderful resource in himself. We have been calling him in the past. I have myself called him in the past. Thank you, Bhagavati. For those who do not know him, all know him, but even for those who might be just students and who may not know him from other colleges, I need to tell you that he is a person who we all regard, because he constantly keeps on inventing and innovating himself. He constantly thinks of new things, which is the basic duty of any teacher and researcher, and therefore we respect him a lot, and that is the reason we have decided to call him to share his perspective with us. And as he rightly pointed out, it is a shared perspective, that is what he said, and there lies the beauty. We are all going to share everything today. The second important thing, as a person, I have whatever interactions I have had, and all others will also agree to me, his own colleagues and like Pragati and Manali, who has been a teacher in Tempo, and many others, our own principal said it about him. He is a very nice and affable person. I personally like his voice quite a lot. I think I don't mean to embarrass you, but then it's a fact, and it's a very great quality for a teacher to have a very nice voice, and through his voice, his ability to communicate makes him very good. He is a good person, I said, because he's very humble and down to earth. So in the morning, Parker sir was praising him, and he was like putting his head down and saying, Naka sir, and he was like not even able to accept a compliment. So I guess this is the most important quality of a researcher and teacher. However greatly achieved he is always humble and down to earth. That is why we combine the resource and the person to give you a very nice resource person today. I hope you will relax, enjoy the workshop. More than anything, please enjoy it. And when we learn, it should not be a stretched experience. He will explain to you in the first part the theory, that is what exactly is meant by artificial intelligence, what exactly is meant by machine learning and its relevance. And later on, he is going to take us to some practical demonstrations, and probably we may have to move to the other class. So I am just telling you the outline of how the workshop is going to be. The workshop is going to end after the demonstration session is over, so it's going to end early, a little early as compared to the usual state level seminars. But we have arranged a small brunch for you. I am telling you all these things well in advance so that you get prepared for what is to come to you. I am especially grateful for teachers who have come all the way and got their students here. In a few days' time, we are going to celebrate. We are now about to celebrate after a few days Lakshmi Pujan. We are going to celebrate Saraswati Pujan also very soon. And Saraswati is supposed to be for us the first letter that a child writes is with the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. If that is the case, research should be a sort of a prayer for any researcher. In fact, I would say that every teacher should engage in research, whatever it is, and should not make it a part of a mundane activity. You should do it with a lot of prayer, devotion and passion. With those words, I end today's welcome in a way like from HOD, and thank you so much for coming once again, and all the very best as you participate. Please feel free to interact with my teachers. They are ready. All our teachers are very helpful. Economics department as well as other teachers. If you have any difficulties, please feel free to talk to them, interact with them. We are here to help you through the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. Now it's my privilege to welcome our guest, Dr. Harik Khanapuri, to proceed with the function. I would request the dignitaries to take their seat in the guest. And thank you all for participating in this workshop.
Good morning, all of you. Yeah. Most known faces for me. First of all, I'm very happy to be back at this college once again. And thanks to all the people for nice and kind words. Am I not audible? Because I'm not comfortable with audio. This will be struggling. You know we teachers, right? Excuse me. This is like a classroom. As long as you are able to, get my audio. Okay, fine. So anyway, I'll be praised for this. Okay. Thank you for all the kind words, ma'am and sir. It's always nice to be with wonderful people, I must say. I always felt it really very nice, very productive. And whenever we had workshops here, I have gone back learning a lot of things and more inspired to try something new. Okay, so that is how you can say credit also goes to the college for having me multiple times here, because then I have to innovate. I'm compelled to innovate, right? So that's what is happening. Okay. Now, I must at the outset also say that sir has presented a fantastic summary of what is the status of AI today in the world. Okay, so AI is going to touch everyone's lives. If I were to randomly throw a question to the audience right now, how many of you have not used ChatGPT? Mind my question. No hands, right? And I think it doesn't matter really what is the size of the audience? The answer would remain the same. No hands, right? Globally, that's the story of AI. It has taken just 5 days for ChatGPT to achieve a milestone of some of the technologies that took years to reach to a particular level of population, right? So that's a million, for example. It just took 5 days for ChatGPT to reach an audience of 10 million people. So, a million people. So, that's how fast this technology is being adopted. ChatGPT falls in a particular category of AI, which is called as generative AI. You must have read, you must have seen the short form of it, right? Gen AI, as it is called. This generative AI was something that people were trying since last 75 years. It didn't happen just yesterday. It didn't happen with OpenAI. It happened with many other people also contributing to it. Prior to this also there were a lot of other technologies which were invented, but they were performing some specific tasks, and suddenly you have this ChatGPT that comes and says, hey, I'm your personal assistant at your service, right? So you may be a doctor, you may be a teacher, you may be a student, you may be a parent. You may be a parent. For example, recently there was a story of a woman who was actually thrown into this challenge of finding out what's wrong with her daughter. She took her to several doctors in multiple places, multiple hospitals, to find out what's going on with her. And then nobody had an answer. Every doctor was trying some of the other kind of a treatment. And then, exhausted with all the options, she asked the ChatGPT. She just prompted ChatGPT with all the symptoms that her daughter was experiencing. And then ChatGPT gave the answer of a very rare kind of a disease. She rushed with the output to the doctor and asked, could this be the reason why she is suffering all this? And the doctor said, there is a possibility. And they conducted a series of tests, and yes, they did discover that she was suffering from such a rare disease. She saved a child, right? And she would have probably lost. So it doesn't matter whether you're a professional, housewife, house husband, which is also becoming common now. Right? Yes. I think maybe thanks to AI. Right? And any profession for that matter is going to touch everybody's life. Right? So we learned about how lawyers are going to lose their jobs. Okay? But at the same time, of course, let us not get scared. It is like I was sharing with sir, this AI technology, in my personal opinion, in comparison to the kind of technologies that we have seen over the years, there is one most dangerous technology. But that is not to give you any kind of a skeptical kind of a perception or to raise some kind of a doubt in your mind. And trust me, what danger we are experiencing with AI today is something similar that we all experienced at some point in time. For example, with computers coming in, and with any other kind of a software application coming in, we didn't experience that kind of a problem. But those people who readied themselves or prepared themselves for the kind of challenges that the technology has thrown time and again, those people survive. Okay? So you don't have to get scared, though it is dangerous. You don't have to get scared of AI, rather accept it, right? And prepare. And you don't have to prepare for AI. The best part of it, prepare with AI. That's what is actually required. Trust me, today I force my students in the class to use ChatGPT. I don't tell them ChatGPT is banned in my classroom. I tell them you have to use ChatGPT. I teach computer science students. I teach MBA students. But I tell them, use ChatGPT. And when I tell them to use ChatGPT, I realized what limitations students face in terms of accepting or growing with AI. You understand? Just because the technology is available, it doesn't mean that we have accepted it and now everything will be fun, nice, easy, and productive. Not necessary. Microsoft Excel has been on this planet since God knows how many decades. How many of us are still conducting value-added courses in Excel? Right? Correct? Industry is still crying that people don't know how to use Excel. Personally, I have seen people sitting with a calculator with Microsoft Excel open. That's a disaster. Complete disaster. When you sit with a calculator when your Microsoft Excel is open, your Microsoft Excel must be telling you, please shut me down. I'm fine. I'm fine with my place, you're fine with your calculator, so just you can shut me off. Right? I've seen that happening. It's a similar kind of a thing. AI has come, but then how well we are going to work with AI and how well we think of going with AI is something that we have to ask ourselves. If we don't actually accept this technology, it's going to create a problem. It's definitely going to create a problem because it is not like a normal technology. Okay, it's not like a normal technology. Okay, as probably we'll see when we see some demonstrations of some AI tools, how things can be really bad in case you don't know how to operate or how to work or how to grow with AI. Okay, so fine. So like a recent report about future of work has actually said what Sir was suggesting. That you don't have to worry about your jobs. You are saying that the future of work report says that roughly about 8.5 crores of jobs are going to get lost in coming few years because of AI. Okay, but at the same time, AI itself is going to create roughly about 9.7 crores of jobs. So we are talking about a surplus. We are not talking about deficit. We are talking about a surplus. The point is whether you have trained yourself with AI. We are talking about machine learning. If machines have started learning, we don't have a choice. Because we made those machines learn. So it's obvious we cannot stop learning. So we have to accept AI and start using it. And so that's the primer on what kind of AI. Now what's the agenda for today's session? Well, very simple. We are going to keep the things very simple. But at the same time, we are not going to miss on the essence of AI and machine learning. Okay? So we'll try to understand why this AI, I mean, from where the question came, right? Why the machine should be doing what humans are doing. And then we will have a sort of a glance of how the evolution of AI has taken place with just one single slide. And then we will get into understanding what are various applications of AI in business and economics. That's what is the topic for today. And then subsequently, we will also try and understand what are the technical foundations, because we have posed a question now, are we growing with AI? Are we accepting, are we training ourselves to work with AI? So in that case, what are the technicalities that you and me will have to actually accept, understand and prepare and work upon so that we are able to work with AI? And finally, of course, we will see demonstration of few tools, AI tools, and then we will also see, if possible, at least we will see the software application using AI. Maybe I will, if the time permits, I will take you through the techniques like Random Forest, which are being used extensively now, and also maybe text mining. Alright, so let us begin. I think this is one question, one particular topic where we don't start with what is AI, because all of you use it. So you know what it is, isn't it? The real question is, why did it start in first place, right? So why AI? So as I told you, AI, what we are seeing today, in fact, as a technology, it got popularized a lot thanks to ChatGPT. Probably if it had come as another technique or another tool where I have to learn something like Microsoft Excel, I have to learn how to use it, isn't it? Then probably it would have taken some time. Here it's not like that. I just ask some questions and I get responses. And that's a problem. Everybody has so many questions and everybody wants to find out some answers and make things a little simple for them. So because of that, ChatGPT as an AI, generative AI tool, became so very popular. But it was not a technology that was not thought of earlier. The early beginning was with this application called as computing machinery and intelligence. In 1950, Alan Turing actually posed this particular question, like, humans are using available information as well as the reason in order to solve problems and make decisions. So why can't a machine do the same thing? It was this particular question. In fact, prior to this, also somebody in a fiction story actually posed some, developed a particular character. You must have, I'm not sure, heard of something called a Wizard of Oz, right? So there was this character in the Wizard of Oz. The story dates back to this particular era, called as the Tin Man. The problem with this Tin Man was he could do everything. It was not human. It is a kind of a character which is actually made out of metal, and therefore he doesn't have a conscience and he doesn't have emotions. And his major issue in the whole novel or in the whole fiction story was why I don't have emotion. Okay? And now that was an important question as to why machines can't think, why machines can't feel, and how can we make them think and how we can make them feel. That was a question that was actually borrowed by some people, you can say experts in computing world, and they started asking further questions like what tuning us. Then, of course, people made some minor attempt. People posed a question, people made some minor attempt, but there was a problem. And there was a problem with the machines. We are talking about 1950, when machines used to occupy rooms like this. Right? So, computers were not so small. In fact, now we can buy a computer on Amazon easily. Few thousands of rupees, in fact, computers are available to us. But that was an era where computers were available at a rental payment of $2 lakh per month. We're talking about $2 lakh per month for using one computer that will occupy an entire room. So we have come a long way from that level of technology. And $2 lakh per month for what kind of a job? Very simple kind of a job, not a heavy-end processing. Most important, the computer couldn't store information. They could only perform tasks, minor tasks, but they couldn't store information. That was the problem with computing world at that time. But you are talking about today artificial intelligence, like say for example ChatGPT. Can you imagine what might have gone behind ChatGPT? Right? Has anyone tried asking ChatGPT questions in or give response in Hindi? Hindi, Marathi? It does give. Right? So you can ask it to provide a response in other multiple languages. I have tried other Indian languages also. And then it does give responses, at least like, this means this means that, etc., etc. So it does give responses, right? But how many of us can speak more than 4 languages? It's tough for us, right? Very few hands probably would raise if I were to ask how many of us are able to speak 4 or more than 4 languages. Why do you think we are not able to speak more than 4 languages? Most of us. What do you think is the problem?
No exposure to the language.
Exactly, no exposure to the language. Isn't it? Why can't we just start talking in French, Spanish, or any other language, Tamil, Malayalam, or Telugu, or Kashmiri, or anything for that matter? Because we are not exposed ourselves to that. But this Dabba can be, you can put any language in that, yes or no? And ask that machine saying, okay, now you learn this language. I will learn, because for it, the language is nothing but ones and zeros and that kind of codes, isn't it? So it will still process all the languages and then it will start speaking also all those languages, right? There is a limitation to this, how much we can store, isn't it? But for developing a ChatGPT, the kind of data that was, can you imagine that ChatGPT algorithm has been trained on vast amount of data available on internet websites, vast amount of data available on free books, vast amount of data available on paid books, and vast amount of data available on any kind of text resource. It has been, everything has been fed into that particular algorithm, and it has been trained that you learn all these things now. That is the reason why it is able to provide you answers on anything, isn't it? And plus, it has been trained on multiple languages as well. So that's how it can manage. So this requires huge amount of storage, isn't it? Right? Huge amount of processing speed. Trust me, a lot of AI things which you want to do, if you want to do on your system, you will fail. Because your 8 GB machines with 8 GB RAM, they are like peanuts for AI. I mean, they don't do most of the common AI tasks. And therefore you require a different kind of a storage. When we talk about things like machine learning, etc., we are talking about the data at a different level altogether. So these facilities were not there back then in 1950s, and therefore though people had aspirations of developing something like this, they couldn't because the technology did not evolve. But somewhere down the line, in computing world we say we follow Moore's law. What does it say? That speed and storage of computers doubles every year. So as the time passed, things improved. And though in between there were some couple of questions, I think this particular conference, okay, in Dartmouth College, was something that was institution was something that was really phenomenal, because here some people really came up with a concrete idea of how machines can be actually trained and how they can start mimicking humans. And for the very first time, it is in Dartmouth institution that the concept of artificial intelligence was actually introduced by the people who came for the conference and presented their papers and works. Of course, Dartmouth, you know, their contribution, etc. I think then subsequently, another important stage in AI development came from the expert system. So in 1980s, for example, early 1980s, the computer experts developed what is called as expert system, wherein machines were, experts will be gathered and they will be asked certain questions, and machine will pose those questions and experts will provide the answer. Okay, so say for example, how to develop a particular formula, a chemical formula, or what kind of a decision can be taken in a particular manner, how, say, cost control can be achieved in a particular situation or scenario, something like that. And then all those responses will be stored. Now somebody who's not an expert will get the responses from the machine. So somebody who's not an expert will provide a situation, and based on whatever suggestions that were otherwise given to the machine by the expert, those suggestions, or by using those suggestions, some decision will be offered to the people who are not so expert. So with that, what happened was there was a little reduced requirement of experts in all the fields, or experts in all the areas in businesses, because the machines were trained by the experts and how they would act in a particular scenario. The machines were able to provide the answers to the other people who are not so good at managing the things, for instance. And in fact, Japan actually did a lot of funding to that kind of research. Towards late 1980s, can you even imagine what this is? That was in 1986. That is the first driverless car. It doesn't look like a car from any angle, right? And that's in 1986 by Navigation Lab, or NavLab as it was called as. The first NavLab 1 version of driverless car actually came in 1986. Now, which is a driverless car that we all are, everybody knows about Tesla, isn't it? Right? That's why a lot of people know. Okay. But people forgot about these guys who actually originated. But you know why it is looking like that? It's looking more like a van, right? Because in that van portion of it, there are people, researchers, who are sitting with the computers. And those computers are practically like these desktop computers. You know, those bus, right? The CPU and these, etc. There will be 4 or 5 different computers which are actually collecting data from different sensors. You understand? And then they are actually processing. The vehicle is mounted with a lot of cameras and a lot of laser equipment, etc., to collect the data of the outside environment. So if some obstacle is coming, it has to be traced, right? So the sensors would, throw the laser, get the data, and then the computer which will process that data, convert it into some pixel kind of image, convert it into some numerical value, and tell, okay, possibly this might be a stone, this might be a human being or something like that. Very rudimentary, very basic level technology. In fact, and no machine learning, no learning, etc. It will just tell there is a chair there. Be careful. That's it. Understood? So, and when you peep out, probably there might be a human being, possible, and not a chair as such. So that is also a possibility. It's not like today. Today you can train this system to actually, train it with the images of apple, okay, and then give it a basket of apple, fruit, banana, these, that, etc. It will segregate the apples and give it to you, saying that this is an apple. You don't have to go and again tell the system. It will segregate automatically and give it to you. So that is what is called, that is happening because of machine learning advancement. But that was not the kind of thing. There was absolutely no intelligence as such there. It is just collect the data and react. That kind of thing. So something similar to a missile technology which is actually used for developing the driver. So something like that. And then of course, this was a very phenomenal thing where people really started taking artificial intelligence very seriously in late 90s, 1997. Remember, or at least read about, like where the so-called infamous chess player Garry Kasparov was for the first time defeated by a computer. That became a big news. That how did a computer understand the moves of Garry Kasparov and how? Well, it was again trained with all the possible moves and therefore it was able to defeat. So this is how it has evolved, right? So where did it start from? A team man, a character, right? A particular character, and then it moved to all through this stages. Of course, a lot of people have funded, a lot of people have contributed, so that's why things have gone really well. Okay, now let us come to the basic fundamentals, having understood how AI actually evolved. What is AI? In simple words, AI is about making your machine start mimicking humans. In simple words, so they are actually doing what humans would otherwise do. So we have this classic example of ChatGPT. You ask some questions, and the AI tool of ChatGPT will provide the answer like an expert in that particular area, isn't it? And there won't be any grammatical errors in that, right? And will provide all possible answers. And you will feel that, yes, this is the answer and this is something that I actually understand. So AI is about that. You just develop a machine, a wholesome machine that is able to perform multiple tasks because it has been actually trained. Alright. Now, maybe we can take a normal, simple example in the area of business and then understand how this AI works and what has relevance with the ML, machine learning. Okay. So I find this example very useful. Imagine, say, for example, you are working in a bank as a credit officer. You are working in a bank as a credit officer. What is the job of a credit officer or a loan officer? To evaluate the loan applications, right? How do you evaluate the loan applications? Throw some pointers. How do you evaluate a loan application? Suppose I approach the bank and say that I would like to borrow some money. Yes. So first of all, you will ask me to fill some form. Yes, sir. What I have to fill in that? Roughly, something. Broadly. My income, like you said, name, some document that prove that I exist. You don't have to be existing just as a person. For the banks, you should be existing through various documents also, right? So you provide some documents. Yeah, KYC details you have to provide. Yes, they might even ask you what assets you have, right? If the loan size is particularly a little bit more, just so that they can grab some security from you, right? And your salary levels and where you are working and all such details. Yes? Okay. Then what do you think will happen? They will evaluate, right? They will process this information. First of all, they would like to find out from my KYC, do I actually exist as a legitimate entity, right? Do I really work here, there, whatever it is. Then they might inquire about the authenticity of my assets based on the documentary evidences that I have provided. Correct? That's what they will do. Then they will say, okay, what is the salary or the income of this particular person? How many dependents are there? What are his usual expenses? And then will he or she be able to afford EMI for the kind of loan that he or she is asking, right? That's how we are going to evaluate. Then there's a possibility you might say assign some kind of a rating to this person. Okay, we can give this person a loan. So let's say for example the ratings are between 1 to 5. So you might say, okay, this person qualifies at level 4 and therefore we can actually sanction a loan. Possible? These are the kind of some kind of an assessment which is actually happening. So you have a loan officer, you approach that person and you give all your documents, etc. And then that person evaluates. Like this, so many people must be coming, isn't it? Throughout the day or throughout the year, and so many loan applications are being actually processed, right? Great. And then the loans, we decide whether to sanction loan to some people or not to sanction loan. Now you replace put all these learnings, all these rules in a machine. Now you are following certain criteria, isn't it? If income is above this level, this loan can be accepted. If assets are like this can be accepted. If KYC details are in this order, this can be accepted, etc. So all those rules are there. Now, at the same time, what has happened is, let's say for example, like this, you have evaluated 1,000 applications. And then from those 1,000 applications, say 950 applications were accepted for loan and 50 were actually rejected. And there were certain reasons why those 50 applications were actually rejected. That means now the loan officer has a data of 1,000 borrowers. 950 of whom were accepted and 50 of whom were rejected. You provide all these past learnings to the machine and say that this is the data of past 1,000 borrowers. Okay? And these parameters were successful because of, we say for example, this thing, 950 were accepted, and these were the reasons why 50 were actually rejected. All that is done. Now, machine will start learning from it by formulating its own model as to why certain people were rejected and why certain people were accepted. Next time a new borrower comes, you provide the same details, KYC, income, family members, security, this, that, etc. Provide all the details. Based on the past learning from those 1,000 borrowers, machine will now tell you this borrower can be given loan or cannot be given loan. You got the point, right? So now machine is actually replacing the credit officer who was working there, isn't it? Now this I am giving an example of a foreign bank which has actually done it. They replace the loan officer with the machine. And now the loan officer no longer does this work. He has been already transferred to do some other productive work. And now this work of sanctioning loan is taken up by this particular machine. Because now the machine has already learned how the acceptance and it has developed its own model of how acceptance and rejection is happening. Now here you find that the machine is mimicking the behavior of a credit officer or a loan officer and taking a decision whether a person should be sanctioned the loan or not. Right? So that's how AI is actually mimicking. Now how did this happen? Machine was first trained, isn't it? Imagine if you had to go and join a bank as a credit officer, you would have been also trained, isn't it? You would have been told that this is the kind of data that we collect. You would have been told that this is the way in which we do the evaluation. And then you would have been told that like this the acceptance happens and like this the rejection happens. So in a similar manner, machine also has been trained. You understand? But the best part now is that you train the machine once. See, if you were trained as a credit officer, every time a new borrower comes, you don't go and ask your boss, now what do I do? Isn't it? Because you have been trained and you have understood how the acceptance and rejection of loans actually happens. So you don't approach your boss again and again. Based on what boss has trained you, you start taking a decision. It's the same manner the machine will work. Since machine has already been trained on a certain data, it will not again go and ask the programmer, please tell me now what to do. Programmer doesn't have to write another set of code every time a new borrower approaches. The machine has already learned it and will start actually taking the decision. So there are two parts of it. One, machine is learning, and second part, machine is taking the decision. Isn't it? So the decision part is like a human being. That's the AI part, like what we call as intelligence. And the learning part is what is called as a machine learning, where it has been trained to actually develop these own models of acceptance and rejection. So it includes a lot of technologies, like, so one thing we understand is that the whole process of AI implementation is something similar to how humans learn and how they take decisions. So therefore there is a learning that has to happen first. In case of machines, we call it as a machine learning. Then of course, there is another element of natural language processing and robotics which comes into it. And we design certain systems so that that particular machine starts operating and taking decisions and performing tasks just like any human being would do. Certain examples. For example, you know the first one? What is this? Alexa. You know what it does. Correct? It actually understands our language, isn't it? Why? Because I have trained it to understand the language. Therefore, it can now understand my language and do the tasks, isn't it? So, it is literally acting like an assistant at home to perform some routine tasks, particularly with reference to entertainment or knowledge, etc. etc. So, they can. So this is a classic case of how AI has actually reached home. What about this? This is what is called as a recommendation system. All of you have used Amazon, isn't it? Right? And you must have seen that Amazon is actually recommending certain products to you, right? Based on what is happening in the backend, the Amazon's machine learning system is actually learning what do you browse, what do you buy, how often do you buy, not just you, but your friends. Because sometimes we buy what our friends buy. So Amazon's in the background is connecting you with people around you. And it is also trying to find out when these people have bought these things, did you also buy these things? So it is trying to learn, are you following your friends in making your purchases on Amazon or you're not? So all that business is happening in the back end and it is learning. And accordingly, if it does find that you are picking up things from Amazon in the manner like your friends are picking up, then it will start, the moment your friends buy something, it will start recommending even that on your screen. Therefore, what Amazon screen I see will be different from what you are seeing, right? So that kind of a thing, recommendation system. Now Amazon is actually recommending things. Now you imagine this in normal settings. For example, we go and ask each other like, I wanted to buy a speaker, which is the best speaker? And then your friend would advise that this. Isn't it? What Amazon recommendation system is doing is the same thing, right? Now you might say that I have bought this, but I wanted some, I have bought this particular mobile, but I wanted some, holder for this particular mobile phone, let's say in car or on my table, etc. So Amazon recommendation system will say that people who bought this also bought this, isn't it? Right? Because it is learning simultaneously what products are actually being bought, etc. So it is replacing your friend in terms of giving you advice. That's AI. But it is happening because it is first learning. It's just like we all are talking in English language because first we have learned the language. And any language that we have not learned, we are not able to implement. Okay? So that way, Tesla. Can you imagine how many calculations your human brain is doing as you are driving a car or even a bike? So many receptors, so many sensors, simultaneously active at the same time, and all this data that we are getting through visual, audio, right? And sometimes, particularly on a bike, your skin is also collecting the data, yes or no? Right? The speed at which you are driving, if it touches you at a particular level, the friction, all that friction is also getting analyzed in your brain. That means we are having multiple sensors on us, because of which we are able to collect large amount of data. The whole data goes from your temporal memory to your processing units, and then it gets processed, and then you take a decision. You should be turning your steering to the left, to the right, hold it straight, what to do. But all this thing is happening in a fraction of seconds. So you have a huge processor which is here, which is actually absorbing a lot of things and doing it. What is Tesla doing? Same thing. Tesla has been trained on all this, right? So there was a demo of Tesla in one particular place where, it was like tested for if there are 2 people on one side and 5 people on another side, and Tesla has no escape, but has to pick either of the group. Which group it should hit? So it picked the 2 groups to cause the minimum loss of human life. You understood? And avoid the maximum damage. Now here, of course, people might ask, should it have even with those two also? Now that's a different story. But so it is also collecting a lot of data just like humans and processing it, and it has learned that if this kind of data comes, then this is a better action, etc. etc. Okay, so that's what it is. So what is machine learning now? It's something that happens before any machine turns into an AI capable machine. It's just like I'm able to talk in English because first I have learned English, right? I have learned English, that's why I'm able to talk, correct? Now, you are able to solve some math problem, for example, very nicely because you have nicely trained yourself in math, right? Or you are able to write some good stories in English because you have probably read a lot of stories yourself first, and you have polished your language, and then you are now able to contribute in that particular manner, right? So what we are showing as our output as good maths, good speaking abilities, good writing of stories, creating nice movies or movie scripts, etc. That we call it as a general intelligence, isn't it? And when when humans exhibit it, we call it as a natural intelligence. When machines exhibit the same behavior, we call it as an artificial intelligence. Now, why are we able to write a good movie script? Possibly because we have been reading good stories, we have good creative ideas, we have jotted them down, all these things are happening. Why we are able to speak very nicely? Because we have trained ourselves in a language very well, isn't it? So first comes the learning, then comes the application of learning. So our application of learning is projected by way of intelligence, which we call it as a human intelligence. If machines start applying it, we call it as a artificial intelligence. But to exhibit our human intelligence, first we had to learn. And in the same manner, machines had to first learn. Let's understand one thing about machine learning. Once we learn something, we start applying it based on our past learnings only. We don't go back to people who made us learn that, isn't it? Right? Now, to what kind of sentences I should be framing, etc. I don't go back to my English teacher asking in this scenario what I should be framing the sentence. Do I do that? I don't do that, right? So that's what is the power. Once machine learns, it doesn't go back. ChatGPT is providing answers to all of us, and God knows how many prompts we are pushing it to on that particular machine on a daily basis, isn't it? Correct? It's not asking OpenAI guy, what do I respond? It has already learned. That's the power of machine learning. So machine learning is something that makes a materialistic thing like a computer behave like a human, right? So it is that whole training, that whole data input that has gone into it, that whole processing that has gone into it, that it is actually making a computer act like human. And that is what machine learning is all about. So machine learning involves all this. It allows the system to learn from the data, improve over time, and make predictions without being explicitly programmed. We don't go back to the programming step again. Once it is algorithm is provided, that's it. Okay? So it will start adopting that algorithm, and based on that it will develop the best model. Now let me give you a simple research related example and clarify on this. Okay? How machine learning actually operates. All of us must have heard of something called a regression model. Yes or no? What do we do in regression model? We take a lot of data, dependent variable data, independent variable data, and we tell the machine, we tell the model that y is equal to alpha plus beta x. Right? This is a model. Then y shares a straightforward relationship with x. Correct? Now you tell me what should be the value of beta, should it be positive, negative, and what is the level, etc. etc. Right? Right? Now a simple statistics will just apply that particular model. Now somebody has come up with a formula for finding out the values of alpha and beta. And with that formula, the values of alpha and beta are calculated and final model is given to us. Correct? This is done. That's it, regression analysis. Now you give the same task to a machine learning algorithm. What it will do? It will not take what you want to tell. You understand? It will develop number of models and find out which is the model that will best explain this data. So in a traditional statistical technique, a regression model y is equal to alpha plus beta x has to be solved by following a particular approach. Right? You remember in the school or in our undergrad programs, We have been taught first prepare the columns, write the values of x, write the value of y, square the x, square the y, multiply x with y and this, that, and then finally apply a formula to calculate the beta value. Yes? And once you get the beta value, apply this formula to get the alpha value. This has been taught to us. Machine learning doesn't happen that particular manner. Because that will give you just one solution, isn't it? But machine learning is not like that. You understand? Machine learning operates in a very different kind of technology. We call it, we call it something like gradient descent. So imagine something like this. You are on a hill and you want to get down. You must have even tried that whenever you were on a hilltop and then you wanted to get down. Not all of us might get down in the same way. Yes or no? I am getting down thinking, okay, this I can manage. Okay, and then I measure. I want to reach there. The path that I have chosen, will it make me reach there? Then I adjust myself a little bit here. That if I possibly follow this path, I might reach the other point. I don't want to reach there. So I want to reach this side. So I adjust myself. As I go further, I again learn that this is getting blocked somewhere. I need to learn, I need to probably shift somewhere else. Now that is what is, in computer terminology, it is called as gradient descent. Right? So you, at every stage you learn something and then you decide, okay, and accordingly you adjust. The typical statistical model is not like that. The typical statistical model says, take this path and descend. Doesn't matter. Whether you reach there, don't reach, I don't know. How fast you reach, doesn't matter. So not all typical regression models which are developed using standard statistical tools are perfect. But machine learning will say, I'm not going to follow only this one single rule. I will see how the data is. Okay? And accordingly I will decide which alpha and the beta will actually give me the best approximation for this data that I'm actually representing. And that's how that particular approach is actually used. So machine learning, you can imagine in this room, in these multiple corners, there are a number of regression models, and there is probably a particular model that is best explaining the data. The other Gaussian approach or OLS approach that we follow is what? This is the way to solve, minimize the sum of squared errors. And to minimize the sum of the squared errors, this is the formula. Apply this formula and find the values of alpha and beta. Machine learning doesn't work that way. There are so many equations which are there, probably one of that best explains. So I will try this, etc. Integrate it into the data and get the output. That's the beauty of machine learning. And that's the reason why it requires to work with lots of data, lots of statistics and a lot of other things for it to really perform. So how the calculation should be done is given to the machine in the form of what is called as a machine learning algorithm. Based on the data that you are providing, the machine applies or generates multiple models using that algorithm that you have actually given. And based on that, it tries to identify which is the best fit. So that's what the machine learning is about. Now, so we have seen it involves using algorithm to identify patterns, make predictions, or classify information based on input data. Now you can see our machines are able to, after learning, able to identify patterns, make predictions, or classify information. So these are some of the examples that I can throw. All of you have seen your email. Gmail started this, right? It automatically started filtering spam mails, and the spam mails go to spam folder, and the other mail come to your proper inbox, isn't it? And rarely there is a loss of the real information or the real mail, right? That's called as a classification. How did it understand? Because spam mails usually have certain pattern. How we detect people, like as humans, how do we identify somebody is doesn't really talk substance or doesn't really talk many times is a liar or whatever. Say, how do we form some judgment based on the history of that particular person's interaction, right? That particular person is showing some negative behavior, it has certain pattern, and we try to judge from that pattern. That's what precisely happens in machine learning. The machine tries to judge from the pattern. So spam mails, possibly they are very colorful, use very loud language, try to catch your attention to, with probably a different kind of a vocabulary. So there might be certain style of writing mails which is actually making those mails by the spammers, right? And therefore, the classification model will identify all such mails as spam and other mails as proper mails. So that's what happens here. In this, can you identify what things are there here?
Yes.
Cookies, muffins, and puppy also is there. I hope all of you were able to identify. Yes or no? How do you think you were able to identify? You've seen all of those. So something is already there here. Your learning is there here, which is actually able to now identify that this is a puppy and not a muffin. This is a puppy and or this is a cookie and not a puppy. You are able to identify that, isn't it? Correct? You give this image to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you a description saying that I know that this is a picture that is actually given to confuse me, right? To see whether I am able to identify this, etc. And it will tell you what all things are there in that image. You understand? So the machine has been already trained to identify how cookies look or how puppies look, etc., etc. So there is an identification, and then of course there is a prediction, like fraud prediction, for example. In fact, Mule Hunter is a AI that Reserve Bank of India has already developed, and it is applying and trying to find out the bank frauds. There's too much of noise about bank frauds in India, isn't it? Right? Therefore, RBI took it up and developed its own AI tool, which is called as Mule Hunter. And through the Mule Hunter, RBI is able to now find out if in certain banks there are certain kind of frauds that are actually taking place. So there is a particular, this is called as a prediction. Alright? So I think the difference between AI and ML is understood. We all have got this now, how AI is different from ML. In simple words, understand, somebody who is very much learned, that person will project intelligence. Isn't that projection of intelligence is what AI is, and the learning part is what machine learning is. We all exhibit intelligence after a substantial amount of learning. So like whatever we are exhibiting, like we are taking very good decisions, we are doing particular tasks very productively, very efficiently. That's the AI part. But to do that, first we have to learn a lot. That's the machine learning part. So general intelligence you can call it as an AI, and whatever learning that is happening, that is called as a machine learning. So it's not really so much different from how humans actually learn. Think of this, ChatGPT, right? It's an AI, right? It's an AI. Why do we say it's an AI? Because whenever we ask, it can understand our questions, right? We feel like it doesn't really, but we feel like it is understanding our questions, right? It is able to generate response like humans. So if I ask some question, as a student I ask the question to teacher, the teacher understands my question, the teacher generates response, right? And have a conversation intelligently, the teacher can further explain to me, the teacher can further provide detailed explanation and more description, more detailing, etc. So converse intelligently, and overall teacher exhibits a good amount of intelligence in that particular domain, right? So that's how the ChatGPT is. So this is the AI part. But why is ChatGPT able to do that? Because it was trained on massive amount of language, right? Please understand one thing. What ChatGPT is doing is one simple thing. It is just making a prediction. What is the prediction? What word should come after which other word? Its predictions are going very nicely and accurate. That's why it is able to generate good sentences. It is just making prediction. So if it tries, if you ask a question, if you ask a particular question, it needs to give response. Grammatically, it knows that certain words should come after certain word. It has already learned that. So on the basis of its learning and on the basis of input prompt that you provide, it is actually making a prediction what should come as a response. It is not doing anything other than that. Okay? How many of you have read something which is written very in a fine font at the bottom of the ChatGPT screen? What is written at the bottom of the ChatGPT screen? Below the prompt line. There's a prompt line. Below the prompt line, something is written. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Correct? So, right? That's why do not remove that, because you feel like it is giving you perfect response, but it also doesn't know what response it is giving. Right? That's a fact. But then of course it has been sufficiently trained. So it was trained on massive amount of text data, learning patterns, language structure, how the language should be, etc. And over time it has improvised itself and has been perfected. First time when ChatGPT came, it was not really that good actually. In fact, now also the free version which is usually available to us is not that good, but it is better than the first one. ChatGPT 1 was not so much that good. I think the real ChatGPT power came from ChatGPT 3.5. That ChatGPT was, is really powerful. So in AI, I think this is a little thing. I don't think so. It is visible to you. So I just want to tell you how what things are important in AI in terms of your preparation for it. Having understood so far, is it okay? Have you understood what AI is? Yes. How it is actually working? Are we able to distinguish clearly between what AI is and what machine learning is? Yes. Or how this? We are trying to intuitively understand. If I go into the mathematics bracket, mathematics is the asset for machine learning. Trust me. It wouldn't have been possible. Two things that really brought these machines into such smart level are one, the mathematics, and second is the advancement in computing technology in terms of storage and processing. If these two things were not there, not possible. Trust me, I was using text data. We all are using, especially in commerce and economics, we use a lot of secondary data, download stock prices, download economic data, process this, process that, etc. etc. I've switched a lot from that numeric data to a text data. I want to know what people are discussing. So say for example, all of us have heard about annual reports, which are published by companies. Yes? In annual reports, one of the sections is management discussion and analysis. Yes? Now, in every management discussion and analysis, just sharing some things on about my current work. In this management discussion, the CEOs have to maintain the reputation of the company and his image also. That is a very good manager, isn't it? Right? So they are going to write nice stories, some facts and some fiction, isn't it? Because ultimately they are also going every year with FT pay packet, right? So if you have to work with such kind of a pay package at the end of the year, definitely they have to provide a good picture and projection about the company. Okay? So what we are trying to now understand is we borrow the text from all the annual reports, different annual reports of some companies, especially where CEOs are paid very highly. You understand? And then we try to find out what is the plan of action that they are giving to the company, what is the direction that they are giving to the company from their discussion, from their text. That I will do this, I will do that, our company is going to do this, is going to expand this way, that way, blah, 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 etc. We are going to translate, compare that as to how much it has, or find out how much that discussion has actually got translated into the financial statement. Because if you say that this is the way you are going to improve your business, the improved business should be seen in your financial statement. Yes or no? Right? So over the years, how much the improvement has taken place, that is what we are going to actually analyze. So from text to numbers. You understand? And then we will compare it with, say, for example, the pay package that they are actually getting, because that's a disclosed amount for the company, right? Especially of the key manager of personnel under the company law. So therefore, do they really, what do you say? Do they really deserve that kind of a pay package at the end of the year? And are they really doing, or rather what we say, walking the talk, doing what they are promising people in the annual report, or they are simply cheating investors and the other stakeholders? So that's the kind of thing. So I have to drag a lot of data out of those PDF files, push it to the machine, train. There will be one algorithm that has actually understood this ChatGPT type of algorithm, which has understood how to interpret the text data and then provide us the answer. Why I am telling you this is because when I tried it recently, I tried it with a sample of text files, and I put it on the computer. The processing was going on. I sat at about, say, for example, 10 o'clock at night to do this. Processing is going on till 4 o'clock. I sat with the computer till 4 o'clock. Okay? And still no results. Because I have an 8 GB machine. So there was absolutely no point. The processing couldn't get completed. Numbers can be easily processed. But text, the algorithms that are required to process that text is something very different. So it took a lot of time, finally I had to give up. Then I had to use a Cornell University's cloud service. Fortunately, they are providing free. I uploaded my text over there and I got the results. Why? Because they are using a massive technology over there. So these processing things are possible, or working with AI is possible. Today, the way we are seeing it is possible because of the these two things: mathematics and the technological development, especially the hardware and processors in particular. Okay. So there are different things which we have to understand artificial intelligence. So we have seen artificial intelligence is possible only when there is machine learning, right? And machine learning is possible because of the presence of these kind of techniques, like there is something called the statistical learning. Statistical learning, what exactly comes in statistical learning? Two broad parts: speech recognition and natural language processing. How does ChatGPT respond to us? How does it understand our language? Because it has been trained in a language. So ChatGPT is using algorithms which broadly fall under the category of what is called as a natural language processing, or NLP, natural language processing. What we are speaking, natural language, human language. How to process that? Some algorithms have been designed, so ChatGPT applies that. So within natural language processing, there is a set of algorithms which are called as a large language models, or LLM. And ChatGPT is trained on large language models. So it's a massive amount of text data, and it has been trained. Then under machine learning, we have another concept which is actually called as a deep learning. Now, what is this deep learning? For example, scientists create different formula, different medicines. Doctors also find answers to, by examining your systems, doctors find answers to your, find out what kind of a problem you're facing. In business decisions, say for example, by analyzing companies' financial statements, we are able to take certain decisions, etc. All this is possible because we as humans have power of reasoning and we examine facts in different layers. So there is some kind of a processing that goes on with, in our neurons. Okay? So deep learning is that kind of an exercise wherein we go much deeper into the data and we use neural network as a technique for processing that data. So that is about the deep learning. Basically, essentially, unearths a lot of hidden insights from whatever information that is provided to us. That level of activity, if you want to apply what is called as a deep learning. ChatGPT does applies deep learning on a language data. Then there are other such similar things. For example, we use a different kind of intelligence when we want to process images. So our brain starts working, a different section of our brain starts working, or a different part or layers of our brain starts working, and our neurons probably work in a completely different manner when we have to process images. When we have to process numbers, they work in a different manner. When we have to process text, they work in a different manner. It's a similar kind of a thing. If computer has to identify images or process images, then it has to go for what it is called as convolution neural network. So there is something called as a convolution neural network, which is very useful, or these are the algorithms which are actually used for enabling a computer to identify images. So like I said, you train the computer on how to identify an apple, and then you give a bunch of fruits, it will immediately pick up apple and say that this is an apple, rest all I don't know. You understand? If you train them on the other fruit, then it will say this is an apple, this is banana, this is orange, etc. So from those images, if the computer wants to identify which is an apple, which is an orange, then you go for another, training it with a different algorithm, which is called as a convolution neural network. You can train it on language model and then say now identify apple. You understand, right? So it's the same kind of thing. Then in case of recurrent neural network, ChatGPT again uses recurrent neural network. One ability of this recurrent neural network is that, have you seen when you are using ChatGPT, you ask a question, you give an answer, and then you again ask a question on the same topic, it continues. Isn't it? As if like he's sitting there and having a discussion and a nice chat with you on the topic, right? Why? Because ChatGPT has an ability to hold the information, like, okay, the whole discussion that is happening now is in the context of this. Last time I gave this answer, now I will give this answer, and so on. You understand? That is happening because it has been trained on the recurrent neural network. Okay? So that's the thing. Then there is computer recognition, object identification, etc. So just something. So just to recap, Machine AI is very broad. That's the general intelligence that the machines are exhibiting. Under that, it is happening because of machine learning. Machine learning itself can be of varied type because the tasks are of varied type. We want to identify, we want to understand language, we want to understand pictures, we want to identify, we want to classify, we want to make prediction, we want to discuss. So tasks are varied type. Accordingly, the machine has to be programmed or given the algorithm of varied types. To understand language, what algorithms we give? Natural language processing algorithms we give. To understand images, what algorithms we give? Convolution neural network. To understand, a discussion, to continue the discussion on a particular topic, what algorithm we give? Recurrent neural network. You understand? So different types of algorithms are given for multiple tasks. Now you design a robot and you train it with all these algorithms. Then you have chitti. Yes or no? The outcome will be chitti. Correct? From robot. That Rajnikant, isn't it? Now that is a robot, that is a machine which has been trained on all these different algorithms. So it can read, write, act, and do a lot of things. Right? So that's the thing. All right. Do you have signal for cell phone? I will conclude this part of the session. If you have signal, you can scan this and probably you can answer. Are you able to answer? Yeah?
Thank you.
One second. I will give it connected. Anything you're getting? Wait, let me just see. This is actually from my side. You don't have questions. You have to only answer. Got my wrong email. I just one. No, those are not my questions. Those are the questions that AI is going to was it the same code which we see here? 576900? No idea. I don't know. seeing this now on the screen? You're seeing this? Okay. Now you can write your response. Now it is right. Oh, it wasn't active, that's why you were seeing. Three, or 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. That way you can write. Respond to this question. You are giving me answers or you are giving me subject names? Specific application, if you would. Specific applications. Specific. So if you say stock market, maybe you can say predicting the stock prices. That becomes more specific, right? Sales analysis, okay? You can write give more than one response. Don't worry about your response or spelling errors, this and etc. Because I won't know. I've kept it anonymous. I don't know who's typing about it. So you also don't know. Neither is your. That's it. Okay, so what we have? CRM, inventory management, stock analysis. Most of you all have written research. Good. I'll show you something in research, something I do. Checking, reorder levels, stock return analysis, interviews. Nice. Detecting stock levels, trending stocks, forecasting, very good. Spending pattern, yes. Other apps, mobile phone apps. All this. Which do AI analysis of the spending pattern. So I can see two usages that are coming very prominently from what you have listed, research. I think majority of you have given research. Next common item is data analysis. What you're seeing in front of you is just a word cloud formation of your responses. Okay? It's some tool that I often use in my class to engage. Getting interaction becomes challenging in class at times, isn't it? Give them a technology and a tool, then they will start responding immediately. So this is something that is actually fine, fantastic. Let's have a look at how companies. This is what you feel that companies are using AI for. Why companies are using AI? So let us see this. Let's go back to our presentation and we will see what companies are using it for. Right? So here is customer service automation. Give an example. Have you experienced any bank? HDFC, EVA or any other banks bought what you call this? Right? Correct? You want to open an account, you want to know what is the procedure. You don't have to bring up somebody and find out or do that. You can just ask the bot. You want to inquire something about the interest rates available in the bank, etc. These things are now typically automated. Right? Well, bots. Take now you open a HDFC bank website, for example, sideways you will have EVA small box that will or a pop-up that will come where you can type something. It will give you options, what do you want to ask me about? And then you pick up an option and then the discussion continues, right? So these are typical chatbots, customer automation. Predictive analysis, somebody actually wrote forecasting, somebody also wrote finding out stock price levels, etc. It's very common. Amazon, Flipkart are doing it for making prediction about their sales. And whenever Amazon finds, let me tell you one thing, 35% of Amazon sales come only through artificial intelligence. Humans don't take decisions about changing about marketing there, with respect to those 35% of the sales. It is coming only because of what the products are getting recommended due to application of artificial intelligence on Amazon. So it is collecting a lot of data about all of us. It is studying our purchase behavior, right? When we buy, what we buy, why we buy, everything. Who are the people in our circle? All that data is actually being gathered and analyzed, and we are recommended certain products to buy. 35% of the sales come only from this recommendation system. So, fraud detection, Paytm is using it, and likewise banks, like I told you, Mule Hunter by Reserve Bank of India is a generic AI tool which is being deployed by various banks now. Personalized marketing, we know what Amazon recommends. The screen on my mobile will be very different and the screen on your mobile will be different because my purchase pattern preferences are different from yours. And therefore, it's very personalized kind of marketing which is actually happening. Supply chain, TCS arranges a lot of its purchase logistics through AI to human. So somebody has said interviews, right? Interviews. Infosys has actually, AI its entire recruitment process. So the typical resume scanning, this, that, etc., selection at a certain level, all that is done through AI. Sentiment analysis, my favorite topic, which a lot of people are using it. Say for example, people say you want to book your next vacation in a particular hotel. Say for instance, you want to travel to a particular place, and what do we normally do? We will go to sites like TripAdvisor, right? And we will check the reviews of certain hotels or certain places or locations, etc. Isn't it? How many reviews can we check? We see the top few reviews, and then we get exhausted, and then we decide what to do. Isn't it? But what if you are in a position to review, prepare a summary of all the reviews? Let's say there are 2,000 reviews. Amazon products you are buying, you definitely see the review, yes or no, and a star rating. You want to see what is being discussed in that review. You want to know about it. And definitely, I can review all, like I make my students review, say 4,000, 3,000 reviews of a particular product. Prepare a summary and give using AI tool. You understand? Or machine learning techniques. So it's possible today. You need not look at top 4 or 5 reviews and decide, but rather you can prepare an entire summary in few minutes here and there. You understand? In fact, once you develop a model for that and push the different file, you can review any product, any location, any hotel, any restaurant, and you prepare a summary in minutes, and accordingly it's whether you need to go to that place, whether you can be buying that product, like that. So, reviews, possible. A sentiment analysis. Flipkart does it, Zomato does it to find out what people are talking about Zomato services. Process automation, Ola, not possible without AI, isn't it? Right? As a business only, it is not possible. Correct? So, quality control, Tata Steel and Maruti are classic examples. These are other things. Default prediction, HDFC Bank is using AI extensively for predicting loan defaults. Optimization of the resources, TCS stock market prediction, Zerodha itself is providing so many AI-based tools in the Zerodha app for stock trading. You can check on those also. Portfolio construction, wealth desk. Another project that I have taken up, how to recommend people to buy what kind of stocks based on AI, based on artificial intelligence. Okay, so you think about developing, because many of us probably will not have the resources, not time to go through the financials of all the companies. Imagine if we train the machine to do that. And not that we are the first one to think like that, the number of products which are already available. We want to add some more value to it and develop a new AI tool based on that. So, that one, algo trading, again, Zerodha has an app on the app. Algo trading option is also available. Algorithmic trading as it is called. Automatic buying and selling based on some program. Personalized financial advice, Digit, insurance company. Credit scoring, Indian Bank is using it extensively for assigning the credit score. If you have seen your Google Pay app, you can check your credit score. Yes, sir. Right? In fact, that is also collecting, also applying the AI model. It gives there somewhere based on AI. Loan eligibility, we were discussing how the credit officers can actually approve the loans. Bajaj itself is doing that, applying AI extensively in that. So if somebody wants to apply for a loan officer's post in Bajaj Finserv, sorry, the computer is already employed. Right? Not for you now. That post is not available to you. So you are looking for something else in Bajaj Finserv. Claim processing, Reliance General Insurance uses an AI technique tool which is called as Riva for facilitating the entire claim processing of the general insurance business. So you have a lot of people. Economics, I think some people are from economics, pure economics. Economic forecasting, State Bank of India applies AI tool for economic forecasting, not just State Bank of India, a lot of central banks in foreign countries like Europe in particular, for instance, are already using AI for making predictions about GDP growth rate, inflation, employment, unemployment, and so many other economic macroeconomic variables in particular. Labor market analysis, Naukri.com applies a lot. It tells you lots of these AI outputs available on the sites in terms of what jobs are available, what is the future, what are kind of jobs that we see in future. All this is happening because of the AI tool. Consumer behavior modeling is happening otherwise also. Financial markets, sorry for a mistake there. Financial market analysis, we know, so I'm not specific. Resource allocation, Indian Railways is using AI to deal with one of its most challenging problems of dirty linen. Okay, or those bed sheets and pillows or whatever that they provide. The major complaint has been that has gone to Indian Railways is that they are often very dirty. So now, before they are sent to the railways, they are actually passed through certain machine, and the machine has been trained to identify dirt. All right. So the definition of dirt is very broad, isn't it? Now the machine has already been identified, from patches to tone, how to identify your tone, piece of cloth, etc. So the machine has already been trained. So a bunch of all those things are passed through the machine, and the machine scans it, and then it says that these are the items which are actually problematic. Those are taken off, and the remaining ones are dispatched. Particularly when you run a Vande Bharat, and then if you get a dirty thing, then it's a big problem because the trains are individual. Trust me, I had the best experience with that. So they are using probably that even for food allocation, etc. Indian Railways is already using AI. Okay. Policy impact evaluation. Andhra Pradesh government actually applied AI to find out why the children in schools are dropping out. So they collected a lot of information about their academics, background information, socio-economic information, etc., 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 dumped it in the AI trained machine, and then found out why this dropout rate is so high in schools. And then accordingly then you segregate them, right? Reasons for dropout might be different for different people. And then you have a different intervention to follow for different set of people. You can't apply one standard rule. Imagine now that is possible because you have AI tools. So that's about the human capital concept that we see in economics, where Niti Aayog, for example, has recommended so many AI. Niti Aayog itself is using AI for evaluating the impact of government policies. Market surveillance, SEBI, Clearing Corporation of India Limited, which is a master in the main chief entity in debt market, they all use AI for detecting frauds. As such trading is going on, they detect frauds. So for that, monetary policy analysis, Federal Reserve of the United States. What is the impact of a particular monetary action on the various other factors in the economy? So for that, they are using bank fraud detection. Reserve Bank of India, I already told you, Mule Hunter is our own tool for detecting frauds in banking. European Commercial Central Bank is using risk management, using AI for risk management. Data analysis, forecasting, everybody is doing. Economic modeling, Bank of Japan has developed its own tool for economic modeling, and of course inflation control. Bank of England has applied AI tools or using AI tools for managing inflation, how to bring down inflation, so on those aspects. So those aspects. So in terms of industry, if you see AI is, you can see clearly here, this is a report that which is revealed now by Niti Aayog, which is a sector which is falling behind in terms of AI implementation. Absolutely none, right? All of them are moving towards, like it's a kind of a matrix where we have on one side of it for industries that are falling behind in terms of implementing AI. This is the level of implementation of AI. And then the leading sectors on the opposite. All are actually moving towards this, which basically indicates that every industry is actually applying today artificial intelligence. And for all the students in particular, this is what you need to know and understand and accept AI as a reality and prepare yourself for that, because nothing is going to be left untouched from AI. Yes, so then what do we need to prepare on? Yes, get some clarity on the technical foundations. I don't write algorithms. In fact, I have written a code for text analysis, but then the code also is written using AI. That's the story today, right? So today, everybody is a programmer. Whether you know programming or you don't know programming, you can be a programmer. Thanks to AI again, right? And now see, ultimately computer works with code. So all said and done, you have to use certain codes. But then that coding business, you don't have to necessarily do or learn by yourself and then do. Little bit of awareness is important, but like codes that we normally get from ChatGPT or from such other AI tools, they are not so very perfect. Sometimes we have to formulate it. But if you provide the error messages to ChatGPT and say that this code what you have given is generating this kind of an error, then it tells you what is to be done. So it's a little bit of an iterative trial and error kind of a process, but if you learn, nothing like it actually. So that one, AI frameworks and tools, I mean just be familiar what kind of infrastructure is required, what kind of software you should need to worry about. The data, what kind of a data is required. Try to get certain kind of a data. Okay. Like many people want to use machine learning, but they don't understand that machine cannot learn without a huge amount of data. You can't provide 100 rows of data and say I'm using machine learning. No, that will not give you the required kind of a result. Machine learning happens if ChatGPT is today giving you this kind of responses. It's possible because it has been trained on, huge, vast amount of data. You understand? Google Translate you have used, and that also uses machine learning, right? It is actually what's the capacity of a typical machine? Say 500 GB. A particular laptop or a computer might have 500 GB as a hard disk, correct? So we are not able to fill that 500 GB of hard disk in our entire career, I think, at times, isn't it? Right? Our computer hard disk never gets filled. Now for Google Translate, they have trained the machine with about 30 crore such computers, each carrying 500. Now you imagine, that's the kind of data which has been, on which Google Translate actually has been trained. So it's a crazy kind of a storage and such kind of thing. So that's the importance of cloud computing. As I told you, till 4 AM I was not able to sort out. Even till this morning also I was awake processing certain things. I again slept at 4 o'clock. But machine is just refusing to process certain things. It becomes a little difficult with the machines, but we can pass it on to some other services. Okay, so yeah, there are certain challenges also. If you are approaching the practical, there are certain challenges. Please note. Do not forget what ChatGPT is written there below the prompt line. ChatGPT can make mistakes. ChatGPT can be also trained to make mistakes, just like how we had a wrong Chitti in the movie, right? Correct? Who started misbehaving, isn't it? So, by the way, that's a threat that has come from the people in the domain of AI. Okay? That machines will start learning even how to do wrong things out of the data that they provide. So you have to be careful. So there are certain issues with machines. For example, data privacy. Now many of you all, I can very nicely say many of you all, because I am not there on Facebook. Right? So many of you all probably might be there on Facebook. Recently, Mark Zuckerberg has already declared that he has taken off all the data of Facebook and used that data, personal data of all the people, everything that is available on Facebook for training the machines for doing some things. That means somebody has already downloaded your data and it's all available. You understand? That was also an issue, way back I think somewhere in 2016 when just before I think presidential elections in US, Cambridge Analytica case was there. Again, it was against Mark Zuckerberg only. Because what he did, Brexit. You know how Brexit was achieved? It was again by manipulating the social media conversations. Okay, so what they did was, the Cambridge Analytica was a firm that actually extracted the data of all the people from Facebook, so in partnership with Facebook, and then they found out from the discussion of those individuals, they categorized people. Who has a problem with Brexit? Who wants to say, who is getting scared if UK remains in Euro area? For what reason? So somebody is scared because of employment. Then they provided that group of people with the data that says how many jobs will be lost if UK remains in Euro area. Somebody was scared because of inflation. They assumed that if a lot of people if UK remains with Euro, a lot of people are traveling to London for this, that, etc., the inflation will shoot up, the prices of goods and services in UK will shoot up. So there were people who were discussing on Facebook about how Brexit can actually impact their savings. So those group of people were provided some special kind of information that said that see, if UK remains with Euro, this is the kind of drop in savings that the Britishers will have in their bank accounts. Can you imagine? Right? So they fed the fears. They fed the data to all the people who were scared because of different reasons. And then when the voting happened, 51.9% said that we want to get out of Europe. So that's a thing. So you can categorize people. So privacy concerns are there. Algorithmic bias in India. The AIs which have been developed by financial institutions unfortunately disqualify rural people based on color. They say that you are not eligible for loans because you come from this background or this particular background, So the machines have developed a biasness. Now I don't know, biasness has come because of the way kind of data that is fed, the way it has been trained. I'm not sure, but the machine AI algorithm has developed a biasness, so it is rejecting rural poor from loans, from sanctioning loans. Now that's a kind of a discrimination, right? So that biasness, people are getting discriminated. Even in foreign countries, people are getting discriminated based on the color. Alright? So it is something like this, for instance, if a lot of black people in US, say a criminal crime history, for example, shows, for instance, that a lot of crimes have been committed by black people. What will machine learn from that data? If it has to identify a criminal? Color. Right? So it will stereotype that if a person is black, that person is going to definitely be a criminal. So that person has to be eliminated from this state, from this work, from this factory, from this place, etc. You cannot assign this kind of a job, etc. So those are the algorithmic biases which are creating a problem. And therefore, ethical issues are cropping up in AI. Okay, so that's a brief overview of what AI is in very general. It's an ocean. Very difficult to cover in a short span of time, but it's a huge ocean. You can just go on and on. But we can probably experience some of these AI tools ourselves and then conclude today's discussion. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Anything that you want to ask so far? Alright. So, can we...
So just one question.
Yes,
In the graph that you have shown, what does x-axis and y-axis represent?
Yeah,
Can you
it's
go
what
back
you're
to
saying. there are some lots of percentages which are used, which I have just avoided. Basically, I am seeing it from this point of view. There is some kind of a rating scale which they use to find out whether the industries are moving towards AI or moving away from the AI. This is the level of development in AI. You understood? What level of development? So for example, construction. Yes, it is moving in terms of adopting AI, it is moving. So x-axis you can take it as like the level of adoption, and y-axis you can take it as how much the quantum of AI. So for example, if you are at this level, it would indicate that you, like construction, you are adopting AI, but the level of AI that you are using is at a very
Low.
base level. You understood? But if you take, for example, financial services, you have adopted substantially, and the level with which you have progressed, the kind of AI that you are using, the quality of AI that you are using is also very advanced. So you can take this as a very advanced level of AI, basic level of AI. Lack of adoption, substantial adoption. You understand? So that is what the chart actually depicts. The full analysis of it is given in the...
No, does it mean that, say for example, construction 16?
Yes.
So does it mean that there are 16 companies who are using?
No. Don't take it. It's more like, like saying a percentage of firms are adopting one or more AI technology at a scale or in a more part of their business weighted by some firm size square, etc. So there is a particular formula which they actually use. Generally, let's draw general inference from this. We are only trying to understand what level the construction stage is. Construction industry is at a stage where it is definitely approaching towards the leading sectors who are very rapidly adopting AI. But the problem with it is that the level of AI that it is adopting is very base minimal. It is not able to perform much advanced or not using the real potential of AI. They are using AI. A lot of firms are shifting towards using AI in the business, but the level of AI that they are using is not really advanced. So it is to say, for example, somebody might be using Excel statistical function, might be using AI possibilities in Excel, etc., etc. Whereas somebody else might be there who is using Excel only to prepare some simple tables and do some simple nominal calculation. You understand? So a lot of people, for example, who are using Excel are using Excel at a very base level, and the real potential of Excel is hardly used. How many of us really use it for performing statistical analysis, for example, which is inbuilt in Excel? I can do a lot of regression analysis using Excel itself. I can perform a lot of statistical tests using Excel itself, and today I can integrate Excel with an AI, which is, for example, there is an AI which is called as Numerous.ai. Numerous.ai actually integrates with Excel, and I can just type in a cell equal to AI, and in the bracket I can type my prompt, do this, do that, etc. So Excel will be able to do that. That is the level of development in Excel that we should be actually harnessing, but many of us don't do that. What we see in the construction industry is precisely that. Companies are moving towards, large number of companies are moving towards adoption of AI, but the level of AI which they are using is limited. So that's what the inference is from. A detailed discussion of this is available in the NITI Aayog report, which is uploaded on the website. You can take more insights from the methodology that I use for rating this, etc. You can draw it from it. I'm not really bothered that much into the technicalities because that was not really the intent of this discussion. Yeah, anything else? So far? Any other question?
Recently there was a news.
Sorry?
Recently there was a news saying that government of Kerala, they started using a teacher. Is it a part of this AI or?
Yes, certainly. It's more like a robotics, an advancement of robotics. So a robot can be trained to do multiple tasks, and that particular robot has been trained to teach actually. So it's an AI itself, because that robot has been trained to teach and to respond to the queries. So you can say that you are having a ChatGPT in a robot version. Okay, so that's what it is. It's an experiment. You have to see how it moves on. You are having some question.
So, did they do sentiment analysis
Who?
for Cambridge?
A lot. Because there's a lot of discussion in terms of text which is put in Facebook now. So you can perform, scrape all that data and then do a lot of sentiment analysis. Yeah. maybe I'll show you how to do this right now. Done? Anything else? Yeah.
You just thought about it, randomly, you haven't spoken about it outright anywhere, and then you look at your phone and there's all and see how is it capable right now to
AI so far is not capable of catching emotions.
Sir, I have read one small regarding this.
Yeah, please continue.
I read somewhere saying that the mobile phones that we are using, when you install any app, in fact not only your mobile but to whom we are contacting or communicating, his mobile also, when you apply, install any app, it asks for some permissions. So one permission, it asks about the mic, and many times it happens that the apps which are installed, they are running in background, they listen to what you are talking. They are not catching the emotions. You might have spoken to maybe a friend or the phone maybe or maybe directly.
Absolutely.
They catch that, and what she's saying is right. You start getting mails, you start getting those contents in the search engine.
Yes.
All those things happen because of that smartphone mic.
Absolutely. So what he's telling you is basically about the trackers. Okay. For example, in a Safari website.
I know about that.
Yeah.
What I was asking you, is it able to catch emotions? Like, I have spoken about it, as I mentioned to you. And then you see things like that.
Okay. Are you talking about ChatGPT or you are talking about something else? And any other?
AI in general.
But AI, any other? Which app you have used? I hope you were interested in.
Even like your shopping sites or
Okay.
for that matter.
Okay.
Or like you have some social media.
Okay.
Like specifically
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Then I understand.
Okay. Like it is, you're feeling that it is actually giving you something.
Always a need to talk.
Okay. Yeah. So it is more of a some kind of a simulated environment that you're living in the sense like you're feeling that this is something that I was actually thinking about. How to make grab. This is a level to which the machine learning is happening, and thanks to like his contribution, what he was suggesting, lots is being tracked, lots is being gathered, and from that it is just, you can still say it is just a coincidence that whatever it is, its prediction model has worked so well that whatever it is projecting, it is matching with or correlating with what you are thinking. So ultimately, our emotions are some of our experiences, a lot of things happening around us. In some or the other form, probably we have recorded it in some platform, based on which the machine is generating certain output which you are feeling, this is something that I was actually thinking. You understand? So it is just a coincidence kind of a thing, or a correlation that you are actually experiencing. It is something very similar to you saying that ChatGPT is giving me a fantastic response. ChatGPT is really not doing anything. It is just predicting which word should come next. It's just that it is matching, its prediction is matching so well, the output looks like a human is chatting with us. You understand? But as we discuss AI today, we are already 3 days old from the news that says that when OpenAI has already launched something called as a strawberry version of its large language model, which is capable of reasoning. It can reason. You understand? Now, till now, it is producing the output, isn't it? Based on what it has been stored or learned. Now it will reason out. What if ChatGPT tomorrow says to a student, looks like you are a student, sorry, I cannot allow you to cheat your teacher, and therefore I am not going to give you this output. Then what? You understand? So we probably might be coming to that stage. So we never know. So yes, reasoning is going to be a little bit dangerous, because then machines will decide what to provide you the information, what not to, and all such issues might actually crop up. At the same time, AI experts are warning of dangers on that side. When that happens, when the machine take control of deciding things for you, that is going to be. For example, there was a nice Hollywood movie that came, Megan. I'm not sure how many of you watched it. Right? I saw on Netflix. I watched it in the cinema. That's the advanced side of to what level AI can actually go. And yeah, the thing is, a lot of people in the West imagine things in the novels or fiction writings, like how the Tin Man was imagined. And then somebody had drawn a kind of a device in one of the stories and that device, with which one character is communicating with the other, that device is with all of us today, a couple of decades later. That's called as a mobile phone. And then somebody created a character called as a Terminator that is capable of doing a lot of things. Way back in 1986 or 87, I think it was actually released. Or even a character like Predator, for instance. Today we have the robots coming and which are exactly what people in 1980s watched as, wow, what a nice movie. Right? So it is going to advance that way as the machines develop in terms of the learning capacities. And yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I understand that the session evoked a lot of interest in you, right? Am I right?
Yes.
And therefore, the session has gone beyond this, and now the demo session is still remaining of the workshop, which will be held just in that passage outside when we have the stairs to go down. Just the first, that is our first year BBA class, which is more equipped because it has got a chair and it has got a space for you to put the laptop on. So now, yeah, the same floor. Yeah, the same floor, but the passage to the stairs, I said, yeah. So now, those who have seriously not got the laptop or are having some difficulty, you are free to just listen and that's
see the demo.
Yeah, those who have the laptop can, yeah. Another thing is food will come after 10 minutes or something. I'm very sorry that on arrival I was not able to give you something. In case you are hungry, and I'm really saying it, it's not this. In case you feel like having something, some of you can also have because it will be open at 1. Because sometimes on a very hungry stomach, you may not be able to get that AI, and no AI will predict for you whether you are hungry, nor can I do it for you. So what you can do is, some of you, I'm saying that or not all do, please go, but because sir has to also go to the university. Yeah, so he will show a demo because that was very important part. So, and then some of you can really go, some students particularly, and then others can join very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please don't go home.
You can install that Cider as a Google Chrome extension by saying add to Chrome. Add to Chrome. So Cider will provide you with certain credits per day, which basically means that you can use it to a certain extent every day. If you give more complicated tasks to Cider, like ask it to download some file, etc., or create some image, then in that case, Cider will credits will get exhausted faster. Okay, so use it for your routine tasks to computerize or to get your routine things done faster, so that you don't spend time on normal stuff like that. You understand? Sometimes even for reading, when you want to say for teachers, if you want to prepare on certain area while teaching, or even students when they are preparing for exams, etc. You found a nice website, maybe your teacher has shared. You can just say summarize. And to give in points, not just bullet points, but other explanatory sentences on how you can, what that website actually contains. I use it to summarize news articles, etc. You don't have time to read so much of it. Or some report, somebody has given a report on a web page. You just want to get the extract of that. You can use summarize option. Certain part of the web page you have not understood. Just highlight that page and say explain. I have Cider, so you will get, for example, it's not visible here on the screen. In the lowest part. Just I'll just try to search something. Speed is. I'm not sure if they are there. Sorry, I'm not Are you all getting internet? Yeah? Slow. No, you didn't open. If you go to Cider, just add that extension to Chrome. Use the Cider as an extension, just like how you would install any extension to the browser. Add the extension of Cider to the Chrome, and then once you start browsing, on the right side it will automatically open and it will start explaining you things or summarizing the things for you. You understood? It will automatically start summarizing. But that will also exhaust your credits for the day. So if you are doing some simple tasks, don't just close that, so that you don't get the credits don't get exhausted. But suppose you are really reading some technical stuff and you would need some help to summarize that and to get some explanation, etc. Activate Cider. It will come on the right hand side, and then you can start. Can you see this? This is an icon. So if you open Mails and if you have Cider installed in your system, you will get a icon like this, which means that it is ready to provide response to your emails. So if I pick up a particular mail, for instance, and then I click on that. Okay, so can you see this is how the Cider opens next to it. You understand? Now, for instance, I'll just go down and I will have something called as AI reply here. Right? AI reply. Now, I can decide that, for instance, I can select all this. Okay? The moment I selected, some activity is happening, right? So I can then ask, explain, translate, or whatever, etc. The moment I say explain, it will start generating some text, okay, which is an explanation. So once you read, that's the summary of your content. And then if you want to generate an AI reply to it, you have to just go down and say generate an AI reply. It will ask you something like what do you want me to include in the reply. Just write few pointers, like one or two things, and then it will take that and start a reply. Now the day's credit is over, so it won't show you here, but on your system it will show. Do you have your emails open? You have your emails open? You have installed the Cider? Experiment. Try something on your own. Just go to open any email and just click on the Cider. All your summary, etc. comes here. Here you get all the reply. And then that reply you can correct it if you want, and then say insert. That's it. Your email response is ready. Have you tried that? Generating the response? Okay. There are multiple tools. There are a number of tools now which are available, in AI. Inside. If you want, you can feel it. Means it will be equivalent. Like here, click on this. That will be available here. So whichever side you want to check. So try some opening some site, search something or mail, whatever it is. Are you able to see the thing, Cider app?
I don't want to edit it.
What about you? You are getting it, right? So you can generate a reply and you can try like that. See, a lot of this you will learn just by yourself. ChatGPT, I don't think so anybody trained you. I'm sure nobody trained you. But trust me, prompting is an art. And of course science. The more detail you go in providing a good prompt, the more better output you generate. Okay? Prompts. That's why there's a separate domain in AI which is called as prompt engineering. Where they teach you how to write prompts and how to construct and devise prompts. So this is fine. Any success with the experiment?
Enjoying it.
Okay, fine. You are enjoying it. That's good. Here, this is some text. You open a mail, text. This is some attachments. It can provide lots of explanation to some technical stuff. Open a website and then a technical thing maybe related to your field. Select a para from that and just ask it to explain, and you see how nicely it provides you the explanation. Okay? So that way you can do. Okay, now let me also show you another one since we have limited time. Many of us do research here. I saw that in your response, you have, I'm really having an internet issue. It's not connecting. Okay, I'll tell you. There's something called as a SciSpace. SciSpace. Have you used? Yes? SciSpace you can use. There's something called as Humata also. Humata.ai. Humata. Humata. If you want to summarize lots of articles, SciSpace is wonderful. If you want to really get good details from an article, Humata is, sorry, the name, first one is SciSpace, SCI, and then space. SciSpace actually helps you to generate content analysis in minutes. Okay? One thing that I realized about SciSpace is that when I was working with my PhD student, it was actually capturing even from paid articles. So some of the articles, because I had asked my student, of course, there is nothing better than deep reading of articles when it comes to research. There is no substitute for that. Okay? But more or less, suppose if example you want to download 200 papers, get a summary of those 200 papers, and then you want to pick up 100 best from that, for instance, right? Or you want to understand at least what is the kind of discussion that is actually happening in these 200 papers. You can use SciSpace and use its content analysis features which are there. Like, you can go on adding columns, like what sample has been used, what are the major objectives of this study. Then there will be separate on the right hand side, you can see separately. All the heads of a particular article, like abstract, literature review, methods used, data used, sample used, then major contributions, findings, results, all such things will be there, future scope for research, etc. Pick up whichever columns that you want, just click by clicking on one by one, and then say load papers. It will generate 50 papers, it might generate 10 papers, 10 papers, 10 papers. Every time you load, maybe it will generate 10 to 20 papers, and then you will have lots of papers. Okay, so this is SciSpace. This is what I was telling. Like, say, for example, you type your topic here, whatever topic that you want to generate your papers on, right? So I just typed the determinants of capital structure, and then I got the summary of top 5 papers first, and then some papers will be there. Now here I have the papers. So these are the papers. This is the content of those papers, sample, major findings, etc. You can scroll it down a bit and see what else you can actually add. Right? So here you can see what are the things you want to know. So when we review papers, what we would like to know? What was the objective and what were the findings, for example, major ones. So you can pick up, say, I want to know what were the methods used. So I say this, right? I also want to know what were the contributions from this, right? I want to know findings, major findings from this, okay? And so on. This is just, I'm just showing because I literally exploited this. Like anything, so indeed I lost a lot of credit. But anyway, and then just scroll and you will be able to see everything about your papers. So, right? Okay. Now you might say, so you can clearly see that all the details coming from those papers. I have verified this also by opening the papers and trying to see from where it has taken. Has it taken only from abstract or it has actually taken from the real content? So far it has worked very well. So it has picked up from the appropriate portion of the PDF file or of that particular paper and added. So you will get a summary like this. But apart from that, now SciSpace will ask you to pay if you want to download this. Okay? No worries. Because somebody else is designing another tool to download from such people who don't want to give anything free of cost, isn't it? So I have installed another extension which again I teach in the class. This one. Okay, so this is called as a scraper. Whatever you are seeing on that web page, it will scrape everything. You understand? And it will provide you in the Excel form, CSV form or Excel form. So now you see the SciSpace has given me a complete summary of say some articles, but I'm not able to download it because only paid version permits you to download it. A lot of AI tools are like that. For example, PowerPoint presentations. Many of us want to make a PowerPoint presentation. By the way, the presentation that you saw which I used, it is AI based. Okay? If I'm taking a presentation on AI and if I am sitting and making a presentation, then shame on me. Isn't it? Right? So, but of course, it is not 100% AI because I have added a lot of my content in that based on what my ratings. But the original presentation was downloaded using presentationmaker.ai. So that tool was actually, this is another one, Slider or slidemaker.ai something like that. Right. So now I wanted to download 100 papers connected to a particular topic, but the SciSpace was not giving it. So then I used an instant data scraper. What is the tool I'm using? Instant data scraper. You can Google it, instant data scraper, and say add to Chrome. Select that and add to Chrome. And then pin it. Pin the extension so that it remains on the toolbar. You can see that I clicked it. It's there on my toolbar there on the browser, isn't it? So once we pin it, it comes over there. And once it is available, whichever website you are on, you want to scrape that data, just click on that instant data scraper. And immediately this dialog box opens and it says, this is what I have scraped. Is that what you want? You understand? If you feel that this is not an appropriate content, then you go for, so you say, try another table. It will switch to another portion of the web page and show you the results here. Now here I can clearly see, it will also highlight in the background. You understand? So you will come to know which portion of the website it has actually taken. Once it is here, you can start downloading. Now I can simply say, okay, this is the right table, and say I want to download it as CSV. Right? Now it is showing you here how many pages it has scraped, how many records are there in that, correct? How much data has been scraped, and you can simply say download CSV, and I can get my CSV file. No, whatever is visible on this website, everything will be scraped. You understood? Suppose there are 200 papers visible there on the side, all the 200 papers summary will be scraped and will be presented. Here it is. Now in each column, there is a text. Discard the columns that you don't want to use and retain only the columns that you want to use. That's your content analysis. You understand? And subsequently, we use this in other versions of AI. For example, when I downloaded this data, I wanted to know what themes are being discussed. So I have 100 papers, but in these 100 papers, different researchers might have researched different aspects of the same topic, isn't it? And I wanted to know which are the top 25 topics in these review papers which are discussed. So I uploaded that whole CSV file on the Cornell University's website to give me the output in terms of what topics are discussed in there. Now Cornell University has designed its own AI tool, what is called as topic modeling. Okay, so there is another branch of text mining which is called as topic modeling. Topic modeling basically tells you what are the major themes of discussion in this particular text data. So I got the topics, that these are the major things that are actually discussed. So 10 papers have talked about the determinants of capital structure. Some have talked about the influence of managers on capital structure. So such topics will be identified and I can actually then decide, fine, this has been studied, this has been studied, this has been studied, then what? In fact, if you go to that particular site of Cornell University, you will be able to see here, this is the site. So on this website, this is the Cornell University's website. Here I upload this downloaded CSV file. You understood? I downloaded the file using instant data scraper. So just see how I'm using. SciSpace I used to get the articles and get the summary. Instant data scraper I used to download the summary. And then to understand what major few topics, top 10, top 25, top 50 topics that are being discussed in this, I use Cornell University's AI tool. So I upload that CSV file here and then generate the response. Now this has the capability of even telling which two topics have been studied together. So capital structure and determinants have been studied together. Capital structure and board members have been studied together. So you can cross-tabulate and then find out. So it will tell you which are the topics in which have been studied in combination a lot in the research, in the literature, and so it will depict it by showing a larger circles. You understand? So a larger circle in the cross correlation would mean that these topics have been studied jointly together a lot in the literature, and a smaller circle would mean that it has not been studied so much. Then that is the gap for you, isn't it? So that combination. So you can use the combination of AI tools for the purpose of actually drawing your literature review. So a lot of help is actually available today, which you can easily summarize, add to your papers. Actually we were writing bibliometric analysis. Then we said that bibliometric analysis follows a particular pattern and everybody has the same pattern. And what are we adding really? So then we said that let's do topic modeling and find out, add a little bit more value to the paper. So we were able to complete that paper by adding the topic modeling in this particular manner, using SciSpace, instant data scraper, and this website. Of course, this website wasn't giving that great output for us, so we also tried some other sites. There are other sites also which are actually available. You can use multiple tools like that. Okay, for those of you who want to use AI for Excel, numerous.ai is a tool that you should be really looking for. Of course, its free version is really very limited. Numerous.ai. Most of these AI tools will be having extension .ai. Numerous.ai. This integrates with the Excel very well. You understand? Now in Excel, whenever we want to do some processes, we use equal to and then type some formula, isn't it? When you are using numerous, you have to say equal to AI into bracket, write in English, plain English, what you want the Excel to do. Like separate the surname from the first name from column A and display the result in column C. So you are writing literally what the Excel should do. The function is equal to AI and into brackets this prompt. Basically prompt, you type, that's it. And then it will separate and give it to you. So this way, numerous.ai is a fantastic tool which is actually available, but a lot of it is, major benefit of numerous AI is only available through paid version. Okay, so that's another one. Students would want to know what kind of papers teachers are going to give us, right? Now there is a conflict of interest here. Both teachers as well as students are there, so I don't know whether to disclose. Right? Because even teachers would want to know how fast I can send a paper so that this job is over, right? What new questions we can ask, etc. So you can use that also. And students can say how to predict the question paper, right? So there's a AI tool which is available. You can upload what notes teachers are sharing with you. Once those notes are uploaded, the AI will tell you these are the questions teachers are going to ask you. So you have to pick up the questions whether you want MCQ, short answer, fill in the blanks, or essay type. And then after generating the question paper, it will say these are the answers. Based on the notes given by the teachers only.
Problems also.
Practical also. In fact, there is a nice demo of this tool. I think it's Cramify. Cramify or something is a tool name. You can try out. Teachers as well as students, please try out. Cramify, I think so. That's the tool. I have not experimented because it's not here. Yeah, I think it is Cramify. Yeah. This is a tool. This is a tool which can be extensively exploited by teachers as well as students. Now, teachers will have a real challenge because I have now disclosed a particular tool. Students might even go for a paid version of it. Trust me. So, you can summarize your teachers' materials that are actually shared, and then you can also find out questions. Okay. So teachers might share some PDF files, some links, this, that, etc. Dump all that here. Okay? And then go for paper setting. Students can become the best paper setters now. Okay? So it will show two columns. One column it will show the questions and the other column will show the answers. And there is an explanation of the answers. Why that answer is the answer. You understood? So you can ask for a detailed explanation. I didn't understand this answer. How did you get this answer? Take the explanation. Generative AI is a messiah now, so it will really help you out in many things. Cramify, try it out, both of you. Okay. Yeah, this is one tool that I can recollect. I mean, it's really a fantastic tool. I think PowerPoint by now, the students must have exploited a lot of it on how to make PowerPoints, but unfortunately I think most of the PowerPoint presentations you cannot download, and most of these, even if you use instant data scraper to extract the slides, nothing comes. Okay, so they have taken a good care of it, but ChatGPT itself generates a lot of bulleted lists, but don't give to ChatGPT a prompt that says prepare a PowerPoint presentation on this. That will give you a very bad PowerPoint presentation. Okay? So give a nice prompt, like prepare a PowerPoint presentation on this particular topic. It should include this, but it should not go into this. Prepare it for the level of undergrad students, okay? And you can give a grader, like what grade the students are, first year, second year, etc., etc. So if you do that, matching to that grade, you will get the presentation. Something that those students. You can say that use some advanced vocabulary, or you can say that use a professional vocabulary, or you can say that do not use too much of technical words. And you can also say the audience who will be listening to this presentation would include so and so. Okay, so you can say that this is a kind of audience. So if you give your detailed prompt like that, you get the best presentation even from ChatGPT. Don't forget, give the best examples possible with respect to different points. Prompt is the main thing to extract the best output from AI. Please know that. So ChatGPT gives you good stuff free of cost. I think as of now I can say, otherwise presentationmaker.ai, slider.ai are some of the sites that I can suggest to you for making your presentations. Alright? So I think that should be fine for...
Sentiment analysis.
Okay, sentiment analysis. Alright. I will only show you probably how what happens in... So she was requesting how sentiment analysis are actually performed. Sentiment. Okay, let me ask you. I'm very happy today. What's the sentiment? Positive, negative, neutral? Positive, right? Right? It's a bad day. negative. So you are deducing sentiments from my sentences. My expressions are zero, neutral. But you are still deducing the sentiment from my sentences. How? You are catching some words. Happy, sad or bad, etc. That means computer has to be just told happy means positive and sad means negative. So somebody has already done that work by training the computer on all these terminologies as to what constitutes good and what constitutes bad, right? Or what is positive and what is negative. So certain dictionaries have been used to train the machine, and those dictionaries are available. Where are they available? Well, multiple places. For those of you who would love to do a bit of Python coding for getting the best out of sentiment analysis, I suggest download something called as Anaconda Navigator. Download Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda Navigator comes with a lot of AI tools and programming tools, for example, or softwares which you can use for, like if I want to do Python coding, I jump to Anaconda, and then in Anaconda is a collection of tools. So it's a distribution kind of a platform of tools, and I go to something called as a Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook. So if I say launch Jupyter Notebook, download Anaconda, it takes a little bit of time, but it will install. These are Conda files from Python. They have named it nicely as Anaconda because they are really Anaconda size. They take a lot of time to download huge files. But once you install, you have all these options available. I think, I'm not sure what stage. Yeah. So I clicked on the Jupyter Notebook. Hope it works. But for this, using this Jupyter, you need to know Python. Even if you don't know Python, I don't know much of Python, trust me. But I've prepared an entire 5-page code for doing topic modeling in Python. Why? Here is the AI will generate the code for me, isn't it? Right? Now, recent tool, AI tool has come wherein you have to just open the laptop, say you have designed a web page, and to design the web page, you use an AI tool, and then you just hold your hands in folded form and say, okay, I want these buttons to be in pink color or red color, and I want this much of gap between. I'm talking to the computer. Okay, this much of spacing between the lines, and a little bit right align, left align, whatever it is. Make the text justified. Can you add also, if possible, add some pictures? I have spoken, and on the left hand side, a panel will emerge which will provide the code for all that I have spoken to the computer, and boom, your website is redesigned based on your instruction, voice instruction. You understood? So you don't need to be a Python expert or a web development or CSS expert or Blender expert, etc. You just have to tell the computer what is to be done and it will be done. So this is the environment in which you actually develop Python code. Okay, so here you will then go file new and say notebook, and once the notebook opens, you can start writing your commands. Now I will close. This is the command line for Python. So you start typing your Python commands here. And for executing any command, shift enter, and Python will execute that command. Anyway, this is the programming part of it. You can perform very good sentiment analysis with a lot of flexibility, entirely in your control with you. The one which I am going to show you right now is, I'm not going into the details of it, but because we don't have that much time, I'll show you two things. Here. I hope I have. Allow me a minute because this software which I am loading takes some time. So those of us who don't want to do any coding can use Orange. It is available on Anaconda distribution platform also. You can use Orange software. You can see some Orange. Okay, so now this is a model that I I've developed for the workflow that I've developed for sentiment analysis, whenever I want to perform any kind of a sentiment analysis, I just change the file. So if I want to do sentiment analysis of hotels, I download the reviews of hotel. How do I download the reviews of hotel? What do you think I use? Instant data scraper. So I go to the review site, right, and say, because website will not allow you to download it in the Excel form, right? So what you do is you go to a particular site, for instance. So Amazon.in. Okay, and then I type a product. Let's say, for example, I want to check iPhone 15 Max Pro or Pro Max. I don't know what that is called. I go to that particular product. For instance, there will be a review section where you get to see all the reviews, right? So I go to that review. Now here it is. These are the reviews, right? 346. So let me click on that and see what reviews are coming up. Okay, so I'm into the review page. I have to actually scroll down further. There is something called as all reviews or some complete reviews, something like that. It's not taking a bit of time. Okay. Here. These are the reviews, right? These are the top reviews, but I don't want just top reviews, I want all the reviews, right? So I'll say see more reviews. I'm just on the Amazon website, just crawling there. Okay, so here I can see that these are the reviews from India, right? All these reviews. Then I say instant data scraper come to my rescue to scrape all the reviews from the site. So instant data scraper has picked up, highlighted something and is showing me all this, but I know that these are not the reviews, right? So I say please try another table. Okay, now it is highlighting. Now it has highlighted the correct portion of the review, right? This is a portion of reviews, right? This is what I want to download. Just verify a bit whether you are getting the reviews correctly or not by scrolling this, because it is showing you the preview of the reviews. So I can see that the review text is available in this, and therefore, like here, this is the review text. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is a really great phone, whatever, blah blah. Here, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is a really great phone, correct? That means this is a correct review, right? But then, how many reviews were there? 300 plus? And you know that Amazon page will not show all the 300 plus reviews on a single page. So there will be some next button, right? If I download now, it will download only what is visible on this page. So I have to tell Instant Data Scraper that there is a next button. Understood? Which you click and then scrape from the other pages also. I don't have to go to each page and scrape. I will just tell the scraper that this is a, please locate the next button. Here. So I click on locate, next button, and then go to the next button, wherever it is. Which is the next button? This one, right? So I just click there once. Okay? So with that clicking, I have informed Data Scraper that this is the next button that it has to click. I go back to it and I say, please start crawling and extracting the data. So here, start crawling. Now you observe here, it is scraping the data. Can you see the change? Yes? So it has started scraping. How many? 6 pages so far? 7 pages? And you can see how many reviews also it has taken? 90? Correct? So it will start scraping like that. Now, if there are thousands of reviews and you don't want to take all 10,000, you can stop it in between and select only few. Please note your 8 GB RAM machines will not handle a lot of reviews. Like I tried running a model with 20,000 reviews, it crashed. No progress. Understood? So normally when I take class for this text mining, I sit with just 1,000 reviews. That's it, maximum. So it has done something now. It has downloaded the reviews. Let me download the file. So I got all the reviews. This is my CSV file which I can now use. Now what do? I go to Orange. Okay? And in this Orange, I provide the file here. You understood? Okay? I provide the file here, then I connect some other modules which are required in processing. Please note, when people write reviews, people might use some nice words and some very nice words which you don't want to be displayed in your output, isn't it? So you need to process those, correct? And people will also use lots of symbols, stars, this, that, etc., etc. A lot of impurities will be there. So you need to take that out. So there's all that is done through something called the pre-processed text. So you upload the reviews, tell the Orange through this module that there are 100 reviews here, and group all the 100 reviews together and analyze. That's called as a corpus. So I have a corpus of 100 reviews. Then I tell, remove the impurities from there. That is pre-process. Once the impurities are removed, then I say perform sentiment analysis. Now, this is already pre-trained machine learning algorithm which is available in this. So I don't have to write a code for training the model. The pre-trained model of sentiment analysis is already there. The model has already been trained on how to identify positive sentiments and negative sentiments. Once I do that, then I say, please save my output of sentiment analysis in this particular table, and then where I can see it here, and to get them in Excel form, I say save data. You understood? So that's the flow, simple flow. Import the data, tell Orange that all the things should be treated collectively, remove the impurities, perform sentiment analysis, show the output, save the output. That's it. All these things are available in Orange, so you have to go on picking up. So if you ask me, other codes here, yes, perfectly. The Orange is a Python-based program, so these are all basically Python scripts. So they are codes already. So somebody has already done it. You don't have to actually load. It's open source, free of cost. They are not going to charge for you. Done, and I get the output. Finally, I'll show you the output and done. I lost my file. I'll show you how the output really looks. I think I've given it output here, so I won't be able to show you that. But this is the process. Since we don't have a file here, I was just trying to find out if that output file is there, but I think there's a problem. One second. No problem. This is the last part, sir. Yeah, it's done. So here it is. This is the output we get. Like for example, I just uploaded a hotel review, 1,000 reviews of a hotel, and here I am getting positive, negative, and neutral sentiment score. So for each review that is given by a respondent, a particular score has been assigned, whether the review is positive or a negative. Whichever column you find a higher number, that's the weight of it, right? So ignore neutral, but you can see that here the first review, larger number, bigger number is in positive. Second one also, bigger number is positive, and so on. So you get for each review what is the sentiment score, whether it is a positive or a negative. You just present an Excel chart of this, and you will be able to find out whether people are talking largely positive or largely negative about this particular hotel. Okay, so that's it. Just come. Yeah. So here your scores are there. So there is another score which will be given, and which will be called as a compound score, which can tell you whether your reviews are on aggregate basis, where review people are providing positive reviews or negative. Now, based on this, can you tell me, like, what do you think people are talking about? Are they positive about this hotel or negative about the hotel? This is a zero line. Anything above zero is positive, and anything below is negative. And these dots are nothing but reviews converted into some number in the form of a compound score, the sentiment score. And you can see that few people are talking negative about it, a lot of them are actually talking positive about it. Now this is a summary of 1,000 reviews which we did in few minutes. You understand? So that's the advantage of sentiment analysis. And all this happened because somebody had already trained the machine for detecting positive and negative sentiments through a module called a sentiment analysis algorithm. Okay? And that is the algorithm that I actually use, a trained model to detect the new data. When somebody developed that model for detecting, helping the machine identify positive and negative, mind you, they never use this data which I provided, isn't it? So this is a new data that I have given to the machine, and because of its learning from the previous data, it is able to now apply that even to the new data. And that's how it has actually identified the positive and negative statements from the new 1000 data. Now this is much easier for us to understand, right? Now you replace this with the reviews of political leaders. You will come to know people are talking positive or negative about your political leader. Yes or no? Right? Now you plot the reviews over a time. Before a particular speech, what was the review? After a particular speech of a political leader, what is the review? That's what political parties are doing. Okay? And then they not only that, they will find out which section people are talking positive, which section people are talking negative. Then they do a kind of analysis which is called like Cambridge Analytica did. Okay, these people are unhappy because of this. In the next speech of the political leader, I am going to introduce this alteration. So they change your mind. You understand? Ultimately, politics is a huge marketing, right? That's what is happening right now. So, for that matter, post-presidential election, the whole world is in US. Post-2016, the whole world is using it for this kind of thing. So, certain amount of manipulation does happen of people. Okay, and all thanks to AI and machine learning. Thank you so much for this extended time. There was lots to it, but we tried to understand the fundamentals and then we saw some demonstration of few tools and the advanced part of it, how the algorithms actually function. Okay, so maybe in future sometime when we meet again, talk, or if you want to know a bit more, most welcome to go invest or business school. Alright, and we are open to discuss. If somebody wants to take some kind of projects also, we are definitely open to those discussions as well. Okay, so thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It has been such a wonderful session, and on behalf of Economics Department of our college, I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Habib sir for such a wonderful and informative session and also practical session regarding AI tools and machine learning. I also thank our principal sir, Professor Santosh Patkar sir, for giving us guidance and support. I also thank our HOD, Professor Sharmila Kolkar ma'am, and Vice Principal Swati Kolkar ma'am, and also my team, our team, that is Economics Department team, Padmashri Gawas and Manali Singhari, for their hard work and support to conduct this event. And I thank all the teachers and the students, participants for attending this session very interactively and attentively. And I think this workshop will help you and help us to do research work and many other project works also. So thank you all for your kind attention.
Thanks, Amita.
And I will request our principal sir to hand over a potted plant as a token of love to Sir Habib.
Yeah, just one more thing. Thank you so much. As already been said, food is ready. You all have food. Aram se, because now after this there is nothing and you must be definitely very, very hungry.